Hey guys, what's up? Fur Daddy here. I'm recording this in the morning so I can get this out in time for you guys to be able to prep a little bit, so sorry for the voice in advance. But today I'm going to be making a video on how to prep for 6.1, kind of like last minute stuff. I based a lot of this on the patch notes that we got, and so I'm going to go over the things that I'm going to do to make Gil, and then go over a couple of general things that I'm doing just to be able to enjoy the content right when it drops. So before we get into the video, I just want to thank everybody who watched my last video and left a comment. I appreciate everybody's feedback. I know it was positive and negative, and I definitely get the message. I'm not going to be making more rant-style videos like on the channel, really. But I did really appreciate the dialogue there, and it helped give me a better understanding of some of the ways that I felt. So yeah, that's all I really want to say about that. But let's get into the video. Okay, so the first one's kind of a no-brainer, but it's going to be to cap on your tomes and cap on your scripts. Particularly the scripts, because there's going to be new items available for purchase, which we'll be using to craft some of the new crafter gear. So it's important that you're capped out on scripts and even have like maybe a little bit of a stockpile of items in your retainer to be able to exchange for more scripts. I mean, at the end of the day, if there isn't a lot of new items, you can always get materia with it. And if there is a lot of new items, you can stand to make a big profit. So to see what items are the most optimal to make, it really does depend on your data center. Usually 2-ingredient items like the rarefied integral arm melee for the carpenter, stuff like that is good. I was making a lot of the chondrite lapidary, Jesus Christ, the chondrite lapidary hammers. So there's a lot of that stuff you can make. Just something that has easy ingredients. The market is quite tanked right now, so you should be able to get a lot of these ingredients really cheap. I don't want to say like one specific item. I don't want to contribute to like, you know, a spike in that price. So just take a look at whatever jobs you have leveled up if you want to make the alembic or whatever. And if it does get too expensive, you can easily get like star quartz and chondrite and stuff like that yourself by gathering. So I definitely recommend doing that, and I also recommend capping your gatherer's scripts, and that's a very similar process. If you have Gather Buddy, the add-on, it's very easy to use, and I've talked about that in my add-on video, which is in the description. But if you don't have that, it's also very easy as well. You can go to the FFXIV Timers website, and it'll show you all the timed nodes to get your collectibles that way as well. So those are both really feasible options to cap out on your scripts, and make sure you have a bit of a stockpile left as well. I think that's a good idea. So moving on to the next thing I'm going to be doing. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is getting a good amount, like maybe 200 or so, of each of the Aethersands. I'm not going to be bothering getting a lot of the other materials necessarily, because a lot of that stuff I think was already spent, but and it's just so cheap anyways. But I will be getting the Aethersand, because it's usually the Aethersand that is used most often in the crafting recipes. Usually the Aethersand that gets used is the one you get from fishing, like from harvesting the fish. So if you see where I am on screen right now, I'm going to show up the map as well, hopefully. And this is where you can go to make sure you have your collectibles on, and you can gather Aethersand here. I also have a full video about this as well. I just want to cover the bases of what I'm doing on this video without going into full tutorial on each of these. But if you're unaware of how to get this Aethersand, it's quite easy. You can check that out as well in the description. So this next one is a little bit risky, and I say that because if I am of the philosophy that when it comes to like the market board and markets in general, by the time you've had an idea about something, somebody else has probably already had that idea. And so speculation and finding a niche is a lot more difficult than it seems. That being said, it's undeniable that the amount of people who will be able to buy the new gender unrestricted clothing will double. So it's definitely something to consider. The new gender restricted clothing or unrestricted clothing that they announced, I have that on screen here now. So if that's something that you're interested in, it is a bit of a gamble, but I think it's definitely worth it to at least get like some of the materials. What I would do is I would buy the materials that are used to craft these, or obtain the materials that are used to craft these, and then if there's a big demand, then I will craft them on the day. And if there's not a big demand, then I will sell the materials to the people who are crafting it. So I think that's a pretty safe investment. Take it with a grain of salt, but I think that's a pretty good one, because I mean, there's just so many people. I think even with the speculation, it'll meet the demand. Okay, so the next one here is going to be stacking up on sacks of nuts. So you get sacks of nuts by doing hunt trains. I also have a video about that. I have a video on all this stuff, so I'll post that in the description as well. But hunt trains, if you are unaware, are basically like big group events that allow you to get a whole bunch of this currency. What's really significant about 6.1 is you will now be able to buy the upgrade material for your gear. So the twine and the coating, the radiant twine and the radiant coating, you'll be able to use to upgrade your tome gear. This isn't a way to make money necessarily, but it's just something you should do if you want to be able to get into the new content faster and you want to be able to get that boost in item level. So yeah, I'm going to be moving on to the things that are not necessarily money makers, but are just good prep to do now. I've covered basically everything that I think will be good money, but we'll keep moving on here anyways. So yeah, sacks of nuts, you'll be able to buy them from the vendor here. And yeah, moving on. So something else that I'm doing that you guys might have already done is I'm getting one of each of the roles leveled up to 90. The reason why is because the Bitter Snow role quest requires you to complete all of the previous role quests. And if it's anything like the one in Shadowbringers with Akulakai, it'll be a really awesome story. So I don't think you should miss out on that. And if you haven't done the Akulakai quest in Shadowbringers, I'm thinking of making a whole video just about that quest. It's so awesome and it has such heavy lore implications. I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, so I'm leveling up. I'm in Boja right now, or Zadnor, leveling up my jobs to 90. Hopefully I'll get the 2 that I need leveled up, the melee and the physical range. But yeah, that's another thing that you can do, or that I'm doing right now in preparation. So the final thing that I recommend that's significant, I'll go over little minor things after this, is to, if you're interested in housing, is to research the price of the housing plots and to make sure you log out in the Empyrean or outside of the Empyrean, like by the Aethersand Crystal Inn Foundation, because you really want to make sure you get in there fast. This is a very rare opportunity, and people were able to get a lot of houses. I know when they had Shirgan as a housing district, people were able to get a fair amount of houses. So if you guys are trying to get a house, you might be able to get one. Another option to do that I see a lot of people talking about doing is potentially just going to like a different district. Like let's say you want a really good house in Shirgane, you can go there and assume that people are just gonna like abandon their houses and move to the Empyrean, to the new district, and you might be able to snag a house there. So those are some tips for you. I'm just gonna go over some more general stuff now. Okay, yeah, so some general stuff that I think is, I talk about this in all my prep videos, but just as a reminder, if you haven't done it already, clean your inventory. I feel like I'm telling people to brush their teeth, but like clean your inventory. You're going to be getting a lot of new items in 6.1, so you want a clean inventory so you can approach it with a clean mind. Just have the crafting materials that you anticipate that you're going to use, and maybe some materia, and that's it. So that's what you want. You want to also, on the topic of materia, let's say you already have capped nuts and you have time to do more hunt trains, stock up on a little bit of extra materia, or you have like some anther clusters or dendro clusters or whatever. Stack up on materia. Make sure you have that for your new gear, because you're going to be getting a whole bunch of new gear in the patch. So that sort of covers everything that I'm going to be doing over the weekend. I wanted to make sure I posted this in the morning, even though it's not the best time for me to post. So if you guys did watch all the way through, I'd really appreciate it if you guys shared this around if this video was useful to you, just because, you know, it's going to be hitting my analytics a little bit by posting it, but I wanted to make sure that you guys got some information, because I know a lot of you guys work, and, you know, over the weekend you have time to farm, and I saw people in my Discord like asking for my video, so I wanted to make sure I put it out. Yeah, so that's all. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the last video I posted and just sharing my thoughts on it in the outro of the video. So if that's not something you're interested in, I'll see you guys later. Oh, and one more thing. I'm going to be streaming the patch over on Twitch. So if you guys want to join me on this money-making endeavor, I'm going to be maybe trying to get some housing, maybe trying to do some money-making, maybe doing the new content. I'm going to be streaming for quite a while. So if you're interested in that and that's something you want to do, stop on by. My Twitch is in the description, so check that out. And yeah, I'm just going to talk about that now. Okay, so welcome to the second outro of the video. I just wanted to talk about the last video I posted, just because I got a lot of really long comments on that. I did reply to some early on, but I don't think I'll be able to reply to all of them, just because a lot of them kind of say the same thing. So I thought I would talk about it a little bit in case you watched that video and you were considering the points that I made. So first of all, I want to say, like, So the video got like quite a bit of dislikes, but it also got actually like more likes than my other videos get with those views. So like it was a very divisive video, but I don't think it was necessarily like an overtly negative one. You know what I mean? So I don't regret posting it or anything like that. I will say some points that people have made that I think are really valid are that like I'm a little burnt out, which I think is true. I think that there was a couple points people maybe didn't completely understand. Like I wasn't saying by any means this game should become like World of Warcraft, and I wasn't talking about like adding more like mandatory systems. I was just talking about adding more optional stuff for people to do between patches, and I don't think I really made that clear in the video, like just optional stuff, you know. The other thing that I as much as I appreciate the people saying like, oh yeah, like you're a little burnt out, I don't know, like it was a lot of people saying that, and while I might be burnt out, I am playing other games and stuff, you know, and I do just want to play this game as much as I can, you know. But overall, I really appreciated everybody's comments on that video. It did give me a little bit of a more nuanced viewpoint. Weirdly enough, after posting the video, I feel a lot less burnt out, and I feel a lot more motivated to play and really scrounge for other stuff to do. Maybe getting that stuff off my chest helped. But yeah, so, but I'm not going to make those videos a regular staple of the channel. I don't really like that, bringing that energy to the channel. I do want to make more discussion-centered videos, but I don't think it'll be like all dramatic like that. That's not really the kind of person that I am, but these are just thoughts that I have had building up for a while. Because, you know, we have friends that the only game we play with them is Final Fantasy, so when people are quitting and not playing, it sucks. So, you know, those thoughts just kind of bubbled up for a while, but yeah. Anyways, if you left a comment, thank you, even if it's negative. I will say there was some kind of creepy comments, like if you're the person that said that you went on my lodestone and like checked all my achievements, you are a creep. But everybody else, I don't mind if you disagree. Like I said, I asked for that in the video, so and then that helped me get a broader perspective. So I really appreciate that, and I especially like the people that were like, you know, I'm a fan of your videos, but I do disagree. And that was cool. I'm glad you guys feel comfortable doing that. So yeah, hopefully the video was not too upsetting. I did see it upset some people. So if I upset you by it, that really wasn't my intention. I just wanted to share some thoughts on the matter. So yeah, this is really the last I'm going to talk about it now. But thank you guys for all the support on my channel. Like I said, I'm experimenting with different content, and I do have to think outside the box as a content creator to make videos. So I have some other things planned. What really matters is if you guys do watch my videos and you're watching to the very end like this, is that you guys share it a lot. As a small content creator, it just takes like, you know, being shared by the right person or to the right place that really makes a video blow up and can make the difference. And if it's a video that, you know, doesn't have a lot of views and you see it, maybe share it around, and I really appreciate that. You guys are what makes my channel actually a channel, so I owe everything to you guys, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, and I'll see you guys on my stream when the patch launches.